Tonight we have an interesting keyboard build. A friend of mine asked me to take a look at this keyboard because the PCB was not functioning properly. So I did, and it's working now. So he said, well, why don't you go ahead and build it for me? And we talked about what switches I had, and I decided that I would go ahead and build it for him. So here it is. This is by Percent Studios. It is a Skog Lite, and let's get to work. So the first things I'll do is take off the screws on the bottom of the case. 6 screws on the bottom here. So we're going to build this keyboard tonight with some Mauves switches that are made by Durock. The Mauve switches are very similar to the alpaca switches. Now these have been lubed with Turbosis 3204 grease. The springs have also been lubed, which I think is important because I heard just a little bit of spring ping when I was just working the switches in my hand. And other than that, they're a real smooth switch, so I don't think we'll be disappointed, hopefully not. And we're going to build this with 7U stabilizer and with a 1.5U control, 1U Windows key, and 1U or 1.5U Alt. So it's kind of like the old school style. Let's see here. Is that it? Okay. Be careful with this. Put this bezel out of the way for now. I'm going to go ahead and take off my rings while I'm building, because I don't want there to be any chance of them scratching the keyboard parts as I'm handling the keyboard parts. So there's a whole bunch of screws holding the PCB to the bottom of the case. Now this keyboard here is a plateless design. So the PCB sits on top of some little risers that come off of the bottom of the case. Kind of like standoffs, except they're part of the case. They're not a separate standoff that you can remove. So in that way, kind of reminiscent of the classic poker style 60% keyboard, only in a TKL size. One more. Now I think the first thing I'll do is take care of the stabilizers. That's a little bit tedious. Just get it out of the way. Oh, one more. Just when I always think there's no more switches left, there's always like one more. I mean screws. Just when I think I unscrewed all the screws, there's always one more left. Okay. Now I've got a 7U spacebar right here. Let me just use this to mark off where the stabilizer goes. Let's see, and where the switch goes. I'm gonna fire up my soldering iron here while I'm at it. So I got these GMK screw-in stabilizers. So for the 7U, looks like this is where it goes. Looks like this is where my stabilizer goes for 7U spacebar. Now this is a Zeal 7U stabilizer wire, because I didn't have a 7U cherry wire sitting around handy. And as you probably know, the switch goes centered on the spacebar for 7U. Okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and screw that in. These stabilizers are GMK stabilizers. Got them from Novel Keys. Screw-in stabilizers, of course. Simple enough. Now, one of these stabilizers screw holes is clear of any traces, electrical traces. The other one, on the other hand, is not clear of any electrical traces. It touches the negative pin of the LED backlight pad, the negative pad for the LED backlight. Now I think this is okay because it's only touching the one pad, so it's not going to short anything to anything else. So it shouldn't be a problem for that screw to be shorted to ground because it's not touching anything else besides ground. So who cares? Now, I'll just go ahead and solder that switch in while I'm at it. So that's where that one goes. So it's interesting, you know. I don't know if I've ever built a plateless keyboard before. It's really different not having to even think about a plate in this whole build process. It's just, the plate is just not even an issue, not even a consideration, because there isn't one. Kind of cool, to be honest. One less thing to think about, one less thing to deal with during the build. So it makes the build pretty dang simple, doesn't it? Now, let's do the rest of these stabilizers. Here's my left shift stabilizer. Oop. Left shift stabilizer. This time I'll hold it in place while I put the screws in. Now in this case, that stabilizer screw almost touches one of the switch pins, but I don't think it matters because, once again, the screw doesn't touch anything else. Now if it was shorting the switch pin to something else, I would be concerned. But if it's, you know, connecting the switch pin to nothing, then it shouldn't be an issue. Alright, next we have our right shift, which I don't even use. I often think it's interesting how ideally when you type you're supposed to use the right shift and the left shift, both. You're supposed to use them at different times, but because of my history as a gamer, I got used to just using the left shift all the time for everything and never using the right shift. And probably affects my typing speed. Doesn't seem like a big deal to me, but I imagine it probably holds me back from being as fast as I could be at typing, especially if I'm typing a lot of capitalized things. Okay, now let's do enter. My magnetized screwdriver here. Now this one, okay, here I think we're going to need a washer. Here we have one of the stabilizer screws appears like it's going to touch both the positive and negative LED pads. So to the parts box we go to get a washer for that. So we want either a fiber washer or a plastic washer to make sure that that doesn't ground out. I think I have some of each here. Need to find them. I'll show what I'm talking about in case anybody runs into this in their own build. This is what you, if you don't know already, I'll show you what you need to look for. Where is it? Okay, see right here? See where this is the enter stabilizer. This one's clear. This one, that head of that screw would touch both the positive and negative LED pads. So we can't have that. That would short out the LED backlight circuit. What exactly would happen to the keyboard, I don't know, but I don't want to find out. We don't want to know. So there is one other thing we could do. We can do one of two things. We can use a washer, or we could also use a plastic screw. And I have some plastic screws in here somewhere, so probably whichever I find first is what we'll use. I'll either find the plastic screws first, or I'll find the washers first, and that's what we'll end up using. Right now I'm not finding either one of them, though, so I might have put them in a different box. Let me check another one of my keyboard parts boxes here. You know what, it's probably in this box, where I have like bump-ons and rubber things, like stuff for doing Band-Aid mod. Oh man, why did I save all these? I don't even remember, but they take up a lot of space. These are from all the Halo switches that I've owned. I really don't have room for these in my parts box. That cracks me up, man. Yeah, these are no bueno. These are going away in the trash. Don't have room for stuff like that. Okay, I just found some plastic washers here. So we're gonna go ahead and use a plastic washer right here. See that? Plastic washer right there. And that'll keep that stabilizer screw from shorting out something on the PCB. That screw is not gripping very well. I think that plastic washer is a little too thick. Let me see if I have some thinner ones, like some fiber washers. I think I found out that when I use the thicker washer like that, I have to use a longer screw to make up for it. Let me find my, hope I can find my fiber washers. I think my fiber washers are in a different box. But here's one other thing I can do. I think I'll use a longer screw, and I'll use the plastic washer. I think I've got some longer screws in here. I think I saw them. I think I saw the long screws in here somewhere. Yeah, I think that's what these are. Let's take a look. Get one out and see if it's longer. So there's the screw I found. And here's the screw that comes with the stabilizers. Yeah, so that's longer. I think that'll do the trick. Now, just to see if I have that size of an Allen wrench nearby. Oh, this was supposed to be a simple build. It's supposed to be very simple. But the devil's always in the details, isn't it? Okay. That's not the right size Allen wrench. Keep looking. Alright, I found the right size Allen wrench. So now we will use the long screw and the plastic washer and call it good. The screw is actually quite a lot longer, so I hope I don't need to do too many like this. It'll look silly. Alright, done. Done with that one. Now, see there? There it is. Okay, one more stabilizer to go. Backspace. Now let's see if backspace has this problem. Hey, focus. There. Hopefully backspace doesn't have stabilizer screw grounding out issue. If not, we'll be done with stabilizers here. Yeah, this one's all clear. This one's no problem. Just that enter is the only issue, the only problematic one on the whole PCB. So if you're building a Skog Lite, make sure to use a washer on the screw. If you use screw and stabs, make sure to use a washer on the screw that goes to the enter stabilizer, the one that's closer to the middle of the keyboard. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of lube right here, which I generally do for stabilizers. It's my little lube syringe, just to prevent rattle. Just kind of go ham with the lube is what I usually do for stabilizers, but you know, it's better than having them be noisy. I'd rather err on the side of too much lube when it comes to stabilizers rather than too little. Okay. Doubt that I'll need that again. Let's just see how those stabs feel. seem okay. Yeah, they seem all right. Now let me do one last thing. Yeah, they're fine. Let me just see how this space bar feels and sounds. Yeah, seems okay. All right, let's keep moving on. So the next things we can do here are we can look at the switch placement of the modifiers and put the modifier switches where they belong. Okay, so I need a 1.5 U and then a 1 U. So if they were all even, so this one is going to be the right. If they were all even, it would be the left position, so it's going to be the farther right position. So let's put that switch in there. And then the modifiers are going to be, this one's going to be farther that way. Wait a minute. Yeah, farther that way. It should be even. Evenly spaced to each other. So I think that's right. Yeah, that should be right. Let me just throw the spacebar on and make sure. I think that's right. Now on the other side of it, you know what? Just to be safe, I think I'll get some keycaps on and verify the fit. So let me pull out some GMK keycaps here to test. Make sure I'm fitting things the right way here. Okay. Yeah, see, this looks right. Now let's check these other switches here. The rest of the bottom row. Could be that one. Control, then what, like menu or code? Alt. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's get to soldering here. Okay, those are those. Let's do these three. All right, that's pretty much it for the bottom row. Let's get to soldering here. Set these aside for now. I think I already soldered the space bar, didn't I? Yeah. So the rest is all just a matter of repetition. So let's get started here. Hey Tux Key, how's it going? From the Netherlands, eh? What time is it there? I think since this is a plateless build, I don't have a plate to hold everything real secure. I think I might solder maybe one row at a time. I'm not sure if I want to wait until all the switches are in to solder them. It seems kind of precarious that way, like they could get crooked or something. I haven't actually used the Gateron screw-in stabs yet, so I can't really comment about that, sorry. But I've heard good things from people who have used them. I have some on order. I can let you know what I think about them. I have some on order from Taobao, but they haven't arrived yet. So I could let you know if I like them once I receive them. So I think you said it's 9 something. Is that AM or PM? Is that in the morning or in the nighttime? Okay. Next row here. Thank goodness these are PCB mount switches because this keyboard does not have a plate. Wow, so it's Friday morning there. The next day for you. Wow, cool. Still Thursday here. Oh wait, no, it's actually Friday morning here as well. It's just, you know, early morning, like when you're supposed to still be asleep. it's just after midnight here. I mean, it's almost 1 a.m. It's not really just after midnight, but yep, just about 1 a.m. here. Close to. All right. Cooking along here. So Tux Key, you've built any? You've got the Keychron Q1 coming. Is that? Have you built any other keyboards lately? Anything interesting to share? Any recent keyboard builds? I met up with Zui from the Top Clack chat room Discord server today, and he showed me this keyboard, of course, but also his Mr. Suit that he had built with vintage blacks. So that was pretty neat. Oh, NK65, cool. How do you like that keyboard? I've heard good things. Novel Keys doing good stuff these days, aren't they? Good old Novel Keys. These stabilizers I'm building with tonight are from Novel Keys. And I believe the switches are from Canon Keys. Upas's business. switches are definitely, these Mauves definitely came from Canon keys, I remember. Mauve switches. Mauve. These Mauve switches. Mauve. Because they're that good. We're gonna do regular centered caps lock, not stepped. That's the owner's wishes. He asked me to do non-stepped caps. Non-stepped caps lock. In case you didn't notice. Oh, this is just so neat. So neat building a keyboard with no plate. It's so fun and different. I don't know why, I just think it's kind of fun, kind of exciting. Can't wait to see how it sounds. How the sound compares to a keyboard with stabilizers. Or, what am I saying, stabilizers? How it compares to a keyboard with a plate versus without a plate. So interesting how different things affect the acoustics. I'm gonna have to get up in a minute here and get my masking tape because I forgot to get it before the stream. And the owner of this keyboard asked for a little bit of masking tape on the bottom of the PCB because that tends to lower the pitch of the sound of the typing. Because I think it's because of the dampening, the acoustic dampening caused by adding more mass to the PCB. That's what I think, but I don't know for sure what the explanation is. Just notice that a little bit of tape on the back side of the PCB goes a long ways. Affects, alters the sound for sure. The Keychron is $190 here. That seems like a good deal. Wow, that's pretty cool. Is that a good deal? I mean, isn't that cheaper? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with what the price of the Keychron is in the US. Yeah, so you like it when the board needs a little work to make it good? Like needs a little tweaking to really bring out the best in the board? I kind of like that too. I think I like the challenge of that, to try to modify a board to make it as good as you can. It's almost more fun that way than if it comes all good from the manufacturer. It's almost more fun when it has some quirks and some problems that you need to tweak to make it sound and feel best. Otherwise, what's our role really? I mean, if everything's perfect out of the box, all we have to do is... Oh, okay, so it's actually more expensive there. I see. I wasn't familiar with the price, sorry. But I mean, for a custom keyboard, it doesn't sound bad price-wise, is what I was thinking. But yeah, you know, if the keyboard doesn't need really anything from us other than some soldering, then what are we, basically an over a fancy soldering machine? I mean, kind of makes the keyboard more personal when you have to mod it to bring out its best qualities. Oh, this is looking so pretty. I just love how this is shaping up. These Mauve switches are so cute. I think the owner is gonna like this, hopefully. I like it already. I don't even know what it sounds like yet, but I'm already liking it. So I hope I continue to like it after I hear it. We'll see. And I hope I didn't get any switches crooked. I'm trying really hard not to. Since there's no plate, there's no guarantee. No guarantee that everything's straight with no plate. Gotta be gentle not to bump the switches out of alignment long before I get them soldered in. So I'm trying to have a light hand here with the soldering iron. Okay, soldering complete with 4 switches to spare. Now, let us go ahead and test the keyboard, test the PCB, make sure all the switches work. So for that, I'll go to keyboard tester. Now I forgot to, usually to prepare for the stream I would open keyboard tester beforehand, but I just didn't. I've been in a hurry today. This build tonight was kind of a last minute fling, so let's see. Keyboard tester. It's in my recent Google searches. Okay. Now let me go ahead and show the window. Okay. Oops. All right, well, that's good enough. Let's see if everything's working. I think I may have missed a key here. No, it's soldered. Oh, I did. I missed a pin. I missed to solder one of the pins on the left alt. Good. Good to know. Because that switch was not working. Okay, soldered it. Working now. Control, menu, select. Oh, this is Windows, huh? Interesting. Okay. Sweet. Everything works. Boom. Sweet. Okay. Now let's finish up here and see how it sounds. Let's take it out for a test drive here, typing test. All right. First off, we mount it back onto. Oh, this is where I said I'm gonna have to pop out for a second. So sorry for the dead air. I'll be back as quickly as I can. I'll hurry as quickly as I can here. I just need to get my tape. I don't recall for sure where I put it, so I might need a minute to find it. I'll just be back with my masking tape as soon as I can. Okay. Fortunately, it was not hard to find my tape. It was right where I thought it would be. Okay. So we're gonna judiciously apply some masking tape here. Let's see here. Okay, there's a piece there. Let's do a big piece across here. Another piece like this. And here. Okay. So, from what I hear, you want to have, the owner asked for 1 to 2 layers of tape. So, I'm going to shoot for 2 layers here. Not sticking that great. Maybe I should warm it up a little bit. Nah. I'll just put my fingers here. Okay. Let's do layer number 2. There, here. Okay. All right. We have successfully taped up the bottom of the PCB. Hopefully that'll have the desired result. Hopefully that'll create the desired effect on the sound. Now, let's start to screw this bad boy together. Put this bad boy back together. And so first, switch pads. Any thoughts on the switch pads I keep seeing? I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, the masking tape is definitely very DIY. I don't see why you couldn't spray in something. So the owner of this keyboard, just FYI, the owner of this keyboard doesn't want me to do anything that's irreversible because the PCB, it's not easy to get a replacement. So if anything happens to this one, it would be bad. So he specifically asked me to use, the owner of this keyboard that I'm building it for specifically asked me to just only use masking tape, and not to use, he even specified to use the blue masking tape and not the green kind, because the green kind leaves more residue and is more likely to damage the circuit board. So just something to know is that what I would use normally, well, I've tried a few different things. One thing I like to do is I like to use there's a self-adhesive butyl rubber product that it's quite heavy, so I like to use it because it's has sound dampening characteristics, acoustic dampening characteristics. But that product, I couldn't be confident that you'd be able to remove it from the PCB without damaging it. And yeah, Tux Key, you just mentioned the sound dampening product that they use in cars. That's another that I've used that I've liked to work with. Dynamat, for example. So I have one of my keyboards that I covered the back of the PCB with Dynamat, and I got it hot with the heat gun to make sure that it would conform to all the irregular shape of the parts of the switches protruding through and everything, like the switch pegs and the pins and everything. And so I got so that it's sealed on there really good. And the downside of that is that thing's never coming off. If I ever wanted to undo that, I don't think I would be able to. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, something I feel like I should, there it is. I was missing one screw here, but it just was over to the side. Yeah, butyl tape. I have some of that that I have ready for my next keyboard build for one of my own personal keyboards. But this keyboard here I'm building for a friend, so I'm doing it his way, the way he wants it. But I think it will sound good with the masking tape. I have high hopes for that. All right, now it's time for us to put the bezel on, and then we can put on keycaps and see how it sounds. Oh my goodness, I did it. I made a silly mistake. Wow. Okay, guys, I messed up big time. I didn't notice when I was getting ready to build this that this guy's got blockers. It's win keyless. So I need to remove those win keys that I installed. My bad. So, oh boy, that's embarrassing. I was thinking of he showed me another keyboard today that I really liked, his Mr. Suit. And the other keyboard he showed me today had Windows keys. And because of that, I thought this was this. I had it in my head that this was the same layout as that one, but it's not. This one has blockers. So yeah. Fortunately, it'll just take me a few minutes extra, but kind of embarrassing mistake to make. Yeah. If it makes me feel any better, I did fix this PCB today, so at least I've added value to this whole keyboard build. But yeah, still can make mistakes for sure. Okay. Yeah, so he likes the Win keyless. And he told me today also that he works in Linux environment, and so he never needs the Windows key anyway, so Win keyless is nice for him. I think I might actually have to remove these two screws, or these top ones. Okay. Silly me. I used to work in Linux, and I would occasionally find the Windows key to be handy. Like if I was in Ubuntu and using the graphical environment, sometimes I would use that key. Okay, the offending keys have been removed. The offending switches have been removed. I'll go back to where we were. Oh yeah, China makes everything, especially keyboards. I used to do network related development for like home gateways that was based on Linux, but now I'm mostly doing Windows based development, so it's been an interesting adjustment. I'm mostly doing C++ and C#. I'm doing like MFC programming now. Oh wow, Tuxkey just started school again at age 46, going for my degree in programming. Way to go, dude. That sounds like a Sounds like a challenge, man. Yeah, C sharp. Good stuff, man. Yeah, we can talk shop. C sharp's cool. So at work we have a lot of software that's written in C++ using MFC, and that we need to stick with because we have such a huge preponderance of code already there that we need to support, and we just don't have time to start over and rewrite everything in C sharp. So what we do a lot of times is a lot of things are just easier to do in C sharp than they are in C++. So a lot of times what we'll do is if we run into a task that C sharp is better suited for, we'll just code that part of the program in C sharp, and we'll call the DLL from our C++ program. So that's one option. So our program uses both C++ and C sharp, but it's the main application is the binary is a C++ MFC native application. All right, that's a little more like it. On the @megas, you can strip any part of it and go lower level without having to go all in. Oh, nice. You always use C strings instead of string. Why is that? Less overhead, or just closer to you're looking mainly to do like an array of characters most of the time, or I'm used to coding in C with just ASCII character arrays, so it's been an adjustment for me using strings all over the place in our software, the actual string objects, and then occasionally having to convert to C string for some APIs. All right. Yeah. I feel you, man. String objects seem unnatural to me. It's because I'm used to plain old C for most of my life, most of my career. Okay, soldering iron off now, and let's put on some of these beautiful keycaps. As you may have noticed, the set that I'm going to use to test this keyboard is none other than the famous GMK Handarbeit. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Handarbeit. I heard that it's a joke name because it means it kind of has a double entendre name, that it technically can mean handmade, but it can also mean hand job. That's what I've heard. Like, so it's kind of like a double entendre name. GMK hand job. I don't know if that's true, or if that's just a rumor. Raspberry Pi has a toxic core community. Oh, really? Well, this is sounding good so far. to me. This keyboard. Can't wait to see how this sounds in a typing test. Wish I could put these keycaps on faster. This is the maiden voyage of these GMK Handarbeit keycaps too, so as the owner of this keyboard, you should feel honored that your keyboard is given these keycaps their first ever actual typing use on a keyboard. Uh-oh. Don't tell me that we only have step caps lock. No, I think I see the other caps lock over there. I think this is caps lock. Hope so. Otherwise we're in trouble. Ah! Come on. How hard could it really be to get this keycap out? Teensy. Teensy's pretty cool. I played with a Teensy. One of my keyboards runs on a Teensy. Seemed like they were pretty cool the way they. There was like a Teensy. I think it was the Teensy 3 that I ported to Chibi OS so that we could run. I ported Chibi OS to Teensy 3 so that we could run QMK, because QMK, I don't know if they still do, but QMK was using Chibi OS for some of the STM32 based boards, which included the Teensy 3. So I had to put in the info about the registers and stuff from had to find the relevant info in the Arduino, and then put it in Chibi OS about all the registers and everything. I don't even remember, it's been a few years. So you can build a mechanical keyboard with a Teensy 3 now. 3.2 I think, I can't remember. I still have it. Still have the Teensy. I think it's on a breakout board, in fact. I think I'd still have it. I don't remember where it is. What do you guys think about the colors on these keycaps? So I don't remember if Handarbeit came with a 7U spacebar or not. I'm gonna have to check. C# seems pretty legit, man. It's kind of like a clown keyboard. Oh man, my daughter's gonna have to see this before I put it away, before I give it back to its owner. I'm gonna have to let her see this. She's gonna crack up. She's gonna love it. Oops, there I go again. Made a mistake. That row doesn't go there. Goes the next one down. Okie dokie. Now let me just check, see if I have a 7U space bar. I don't remember if it came with such a thing. If this set came with a 7U space bar. If not, it's no big deal. You can use the space bar from that I have sitting here on my desk. It's from Nautilus, GMK Nautilus. I just couldn't remember if Handarbeit came with any other extra stuff. I don't think it did. That doesn't sound familiar. I think this is it. What you see is it. So I'm just gonna use the 7U spacebar from GMK Nautilus for the moment. I think it'll look good enough. Close enough for jazz. Not quite the right color, but it'll work just for the typing test. The F keys trigger you? Is that all that triggers you? Just the F keys. Alright. I gotta send a picture of this to the owner of this keyboard. He's gonna crack up. Alright, typing test time. Alright. Let's see here. Pull up a typing test real quick. Why am I having trouble here? Window capture, okay. Chrome. Huh. Should be working. It's not, for some reason it's not updating the Chrome, the list of windows to capture, to reflect the windows that are actually running right now. Okay, let me try removing that. Let me try removing the window capture and just adding it over again. Okay, that's better. All right, let's do some typing, see how it sounds. What do you think? Yeah, well, I like it. It's kind of muted. It's not super loud. I think it turned out pretty good. The switches are smooth. The stabilizers are nice. Let's do one more with the microphone even closer. I hope this doesn't make it too loud. Let's see. A little farther away. There. Let's try like that. All right, well, I think we're done. So I gotta get to bed. I got a big day tomorrow. But thank you all for joining. Good talking to you guys. Thanks for keeping me company during the build, and thanks for tuning in. And I will see you guys hopefully next time.